Screw trying to call this an important film released by the Criterion Collection. I mean, this is one of the films that they released where you just have to simply go, what the fuck is going on? And for all you people out there who have no idea what I'm talking about or don't really care for the Criterion Collection, mainly those people out there who are not film buffs, I am talking about this weird little movie from Japan made in 1977, House. This strange little movie from Japan tells the story of 7 schoolgirls, Gorgeous, Mac, Fantasy, Sweet, Prof, Melody, and Kung Fu. They decide to go spend their summer with Gorgeous's aunt, who lives in a giant house in the countryside, but there's a dark side to this house, and from there on it's just a series of psychedelic, unexpected, what the fuck moments. Now, before I actually physically review the movie, here's a little background on the film's history and how it became the weird acid trip that it is. I'm not looking at my crotch, I'm looking at the Blu-ray cover. As I mentioned, the film came out in 1977 in Japan, and it was released by Toho Company Limited, the same studio responsible for the Godzilla series. In 1975, the studio wanted to make a movie on the line of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. They wanted to make a horror movie similar to Jaws, or at least, I don't know, they wanted to. So they hired a commercial director named Nobuhiko Obayashi to come in and come up with an idea for a horror movie. So he and the film screenwriter came back with the script, and it was given the green light. But there was a problem. There was no director attached to the movie, and for 2 years, none of the directors working at Toho wanted to make this movie. So it wasn't until Obayashi convinced the studio to let him direct it himself that this movie finally got made and released. When it finally came out in 1977, only in Japan, it was a big box office success, but the critics seemed to hate this movie so much that even Toho themselves pulled the movie from theaters. It was never released in the United States until our good friends from the Criterion Collection picked it up, put it out on DVD and Blu-ray in 2010, because I'm sure they were like, hey, you know what, this movie's foreign, it's artsy, it's something not a lot of people have seen. This would be perfect for our lineup. So I bought this movie without seeing it at all. Watched it a couple weeks ago, and yeah, what the fuck is really the best way to describe this movie. But I don't mean that in a negative way at all. If anything, I love this movie. It's a movie that's very hard to describe, and it's going to be tough to review this movie because it's just something you gotta see for yourself. But I'll try the best of my ability to describe this movie and make it sound interesting without sounding crazy myself. The biggest strength of this movie is that it's visually incredible for its time. And even when there are subtle moments throughout the movie, just parts of drama or just quiet, there's always something going on, whether it's map painting, camera technique, or the beautiful cinematography. There's always something visually going on. This helps keeps the subtle moments from being boring, not that anyone would get bored after seeing this movie or while seeing this movie, because the thing is, I was never bored, even when there wasn't anything visual going on. And what kind of stuff happens when there is something visually crazy going on? Well, we've got living skeletons, we've got weird moments of animation, we've got kung fu kicking everything in sight, we've got disembodied heads, we've got disembodied limbs in goldfish jars, we've got evil cats. That's one thing this movie will do, it'll not make you trust cats. My dog just walked up to me after hearing the word cat. He's not listening. We got weird dream sequences. We've got mirrors that like disassemble your face and like take you to hell or something. It's very hard to describe, which is why I'm saying you need to see this to believe it. I like the characters, even though I guess they're kind of one-dimensional. They're basically the equivalent to the seven dwarfs in Disney's Snow White. Their names are their personalities or what they do, and they do their job well. They're good actresses. I mean, they're cute. So in the end, I just like the characters, and again, I'm a sucker for Japanese women, so yeah, you know me. The music is also great, and it always fits the mood of whatever scene's going on in the movie. Like, whenever it's a quiet moment, the music will usually be this very soft piano, very dreamlike, and then when all the crazy shit's going on, the music is just as crazy as the scene it's being played with. If I could point out any negatives about this movie, it's the fact that this movie is supposed to be placed in the horror genre. And it doesn't really work in trying to scare you because you're so distracted by all the weird shit that's going on throughout the movie that the movie just weirds you out more than it does scare you. Unless really weird, unexpected things do scare you, then I guess it did its job well. It also doesn't wrap up, like, tightly. It would leave certain people confused, and dare I say, if, like, the average Joe saw this movie, it would probably get him mad. But then again, this is a Criterion release, so I doubt the average Joe would like this movie, or even hear about it to begin with. But those negatives I pointed out aren't really personal problems for me. They're more like warning signs for those who aren't film buffs like me, and so many other people that I know. Because I love this movie. It's visually amazing, it's impressive for 1977, and it's just a great time. I guess the movie you kind of have to watch with a group of friends so you all can be weirded out at the same time. It's definitely, again, from the Criterion Collection, it's definitely a film buffs kind of movie. And if you are a film buff, it's worth seeing in your lifetime. It's pretty good. I think it is an important movie in a sense, and it's really amazing, I think. So that's my review for 1977's House. Leave a comment if you've seen the movie, subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews in the future, check out my other channel, AlexG8462. This has been the Cinemas of Mr. Robinson, and remember, know it before you see it. See you guys later.